All right, what is going on? What is going on? Real quick, let's see what's going on in this energy. All right, surprise and pathway. I feel like there's a surprise coming on your path. All right, or I feel like there is a open door that you don't know about that's getting ready to make its way to you, is what I'm hearing. All right, poverty is here. All right, coming out of the state of lack. All right, and inner conflicts. All right, completion and fulfillment is here. All right, and karma in courtroom, courthouse. This courthouse energy has been coming out all morning. All right, so I just feel like it's a lot of justice in the air. All right, isolation. You could be in isolation at this time. Obsession is here. Somebody's obsessed with making someone be in a impoverished energy. All right. Somebody wants you stuck instead of healing. All right. Somebody is trying to cast the ultimate. I don't know. Somebody trying to inflict pain. Karmic masculine is here. There's a new beginning though. Message of concern. Somebody is getting ready to be in the hospital. All right. Loss, grief, disappointment. Somebody could be passing away as well. This could be happening quickly. All right. Due to lust. This could be happening quickly due to lust. Somebody wanting something that's not theirs or wanting to control a situation. Again, something is coming in quickly on your path. All right. And somebody is upset about this shit. All right. Surprise. Somebody wanted you stuck and stagnant. It's not happening. All right. Grief, loss, disappointment. Somebody is so fucking pissed. All right. Because you're moving on. All right. Somebody's dissatisfied with something. All right. Somebody's dissatisfied with your gift, or somebody don't like your gift. Faith is here. Or somebody feels like you don't deserve something. All right. New beginnings is here. Somebody feel like you don't deserve a new beginning, but you're getting that shit any fucking ways, no matter what the fuck a bitch think. All right. Resilience is here. Determination, clarity, new ideas, mental breakthrough, power, and truth is here. All right. This is because you chose to surrender and let go. All right. There's a celebration happening. Opportunity is here. All right. I'm feeling like you're getting ready to get some sort of opportunity to learn. All right. Divine masculine is here. All right. Chariot is here. Something's happening quickly. All right. Something could be happening quick when it comes to a masculine. All right. On a path. Somebody's finding out something about a false narrative. Somebody lied about a situation. A karmic masculine. The world fulfillment, integration, and wholeness is here. All right. So something about you loving yourself wholeheartedly. All right. Somebody may not can stand that shit. All right. Endings, transformation, change. All right. Exploration. Karmic femme is here. All right. So there's a karmic woman that hates the fact that you love yourself. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, Sheila Davis? Hey, y'all. All right. Reliability, but I heard rehabilitation. All right. Something could be happening with someone's health. All right, charity here. So somebody's definitely getting ready to receive. All right, change is here. All right, so you're getting ready to receive something so that something can change. And somebody mad about this shit. All right, nobody give a fuck. Your ancestors is getting ready to change an entire situation for you. All right, then you got hermit mode here. All right, so somebody could be doing something in isolation, or you could be doing something in isolation. Okay. surprises here. Again, there's something getting ready to happen on your pathway that's going to allow you to be able to be very abundant. All right. New love is here. I got new love, but I hear love spell. Somebody's doing a love spell. Somebody wants to throw you off of your path. All right. With this bullshit that spell works. All right. Financial stability is here. Change. All right. So something is changing with your financial stability. All right. Security is here. All right. Family. Yeah, you got family evil eyeing you. All right. And abusing the fuck out your ass. All right. Spiritually, but your ancestors ain't going. All right. Your ancestors is getting ready to handle whatever this is. All right. Somebody could have did a sweetener spell on you to make you be more receptive to them. Okay. Somebody could be doing a love spell on your career, on who you are. Just a love spell, period. Somebody just want to do some shit. All right. Somebody gonna die. All right. Ace of Wands. But I say somebody gonna die and somebody concerned. All right. Family members in a conflict. All right. About this abundance that's coming your way. All right. Because you're gonna be able to level up and then you're gonna be able to tell the truth with proof, all right, other than the one that God gave you. All right, rich guys here. This could be a masculine energy. All right, a father figure. All right, somebody is making a decision. All right, karmic fam is here. False is here. All right, so somebody could be finding out about some false documentation. All right, the gift is here. All right, you're receiving this gift because you love yourself. I mean, just simple as that. Endings, transformation, change, and rebirth. All right, rest. Somebody dying. Somebody finna pass away. Rest. All right. Somebody finna get some permanent ass rest. Emotional maturity, compassion, calmness. All right. Balance emotions. All right. Priestess here. Somebody's getting a message of concern. All right. That somebody's receiving a new beginning. All right. There's a masculine energy that's pissed off. All right. Because you know about this wealth. All right. There's a tower moment happening for a divine feminine, which is bringing in wealth. All right. Stability, generosity, security. All right. You could have been going through some sort of upheavals. All right. There's a revelation here. Sudden change. Maybe a little chaos in the air. All right. Divine masculine is here as well. All right. So it could be chaos because of a divine masculine. Somebody could be obsessed with doing spell work. All right. So that they can receive some sort of victory. All right. When it comes to a home situation. All right. With a divine masculine. All right, surprises here. Pathway is being open for a divine masculine and divine feminine. All right, chariot energy. Spirit is getting ready to give. All right, to a union. Karma is here. All right, somebody is real enamored by you. All right, adaptability, balance, flexibility, juggle, and priorities and multitasking is here. All right, moving on. All right, moving on and departure, letting go. So there's definitely, all right, there's definitely travel here. Celebrations though too as well. All right. Could have your guard up. Clarity, new idea, mental power, truth, and breakthrough. All right. I am live on both TikToks. All right. Celebration here. Not on both TikToks. I'm talking on both TikToks. I am live on TikTok and I am live on YouTube. All right. Celebrations here. You're getting ready to celebrate. Hey love. You're getting ready to celebrate. All right. Something's coming in really quickly. Ace of Swords, mental truth, power. Okay, you're gonna find out about whoever this lustful person was who you trusted, and this person took something. All right, loss, grief, and disappointment is here. All right, justice and earth angel is here. Oh, let's see. All right, donation readings are available. Thank you, love. All right, donation readings are available. If you are interested in 2 years of unlimited reads, all right, 2 years of unlimited reads, all right, 55 for 2 years of unlimited reads for one person. All right, one person and one person only. If you are interested in burn and releases, cutting cords, and open the roads, all right, those are 2020 at this time. All right. If you are wanting a 30, 45-minute video with that, then it is 30. All right, let's see. Let me get 3 of these. Okay, well, I'm going to get 4 because 4 came out. Oh, bless me. All right, 4 waters. All right, you're feeling disconnected since you're so lost in thought. All right, it's hard to care about things right now. Contemplation isn't bad in itself, but this card warns us getting so tangled up in introspection that you isolate yourself and become apathic. Let's see. Knight of Lightning. All right, so Spirit is saying don't get so lost up in your thoughts, is what I'm hearing. All right, you're focused on your mission. All right, you can be hasty, but always ready to act. This card is about defending your beliefs and acting decisively because it also cautions us against impulsiveness. All right, thank you, love. All right, then you got Lone Guardian. I just feel like it's a lot of isolation at this time. Hermit mode. All right. You should take some time out for yourself and do some self reflection. All right. Think about what's going on while on your own times. I wish. All right. Some alone time will do you some good. Some alone time will do you some good. Hold on, plug my phone up. All right. If anybody is wanting, shit. If anybody is wanting 2 years, all right, of unlimited readings for 65, it is available. All right, if you're wanting 1 year, it is 50. All right, you need to get away from distractions and obligations. All right, even if it's for a little bit. No one is on an island, but you can still take a break and drift. All right, so Spirit is asking you to basically get lost in yourself, type of energy. All right, Knight of Waters. All right. You enjoy the simple joys in life. All right. You have to follow your heart and live in the moment. This card encourages you to slow down and savor what the world has to offer. Maybe your situation can be resolved simply by letting go. It's okay to allow yourself to let go and to flow at this time. So basically, Spirit telling you, do not give a fuck. All right. Just let shit flow. All right. Which is the hardest thing to me, is just to let shit flow. All right, but something's getting ready to happen to where you just get to let this shit flow. All right, holding together, unity and alliance is here. Caution, transformation. Something's getting ready to change. Something could get ready to be ready to change between you and another person. All right. All right, deep emotions, all right, emotional waters, all right. Something is getting ready to happen. I feel like that it's gonna set you off. You might shed a tear too, all right. All right, unbalanced relationships. All right, you could be learning something about an unbalanced relationship. This is something that you walked away from. All right, contemplation and observe. All right, you could be thinking about all the unbalanced relationships that you've had or that you have in your life. All right, and that you're moving forward when it comes to those temporary journey. All right, you're starting to realize that some things are just a temporary journey. Everything is not meant for forever. All right, but to learn a lesson and move forward. All right, pure power is here. All right, transformation. All right, peace and harmony is here. All right, before completion, there's a new cycle that's getting ready to begin. All right, grace, beauty, and refinement is here. All right, so something is happening that you do not see. Let's see. Ace of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. All right, the moon, which you don't see. All right, you got some sort of finances coming your way. All right, $50 for a year of unlimited reads. All right, for 265 for 2 years. All right, for 1 year, 50, 50, 50. All right, there's something definitely happening that you don't see that's going to bring you some sort of wish fulfillment. All right, something that's unbalanced is getting ready to balance itself out with a phone call. All right, with a phone call from an emperor. All right, Ace of Pentacles. All right, so it's some sort of masculine energy here. All right, or just somebody of authority, somebody who has the ability to change the situation. Let's see. Yeah, everything is fine because something is getting ready to balance itself out. All right, you're getting ready to come out of the cold. All right, you're getting ready to have choices too, or you're getting ready to have to make a choice. Yeah, Two of Cups is here. All right, somebody's getting ready to give to you. The Star is here again. This is something that you don't see. This Emperor could be doing something that you don't see. All right, again, everything is fine. Ten of Swords energy still. All right. Tower moment. It's like somebody's coming in and giving some sort of helping hand. This is justice here. All right, to get you out of a stuck situation. There's a phone call that's coming in that's going to allow you to be unstuck. What's going on? That's going to allow you to be unstuck. All right, a 10. Oh, shit. 10 of Pentacles. All right, again, this is what you don't see. Ace of Wands and another motherfucking 10 of Pentacles. All right, so you got so much coming towards you. All right, unlimited reads for a year, $50. All right, unlimited reads for $50. For a year, for 2 years, it's 65. All right, let's see. King of Pentacles. All right, releasing and letting go is bringing in these pentacles. All right. Let's see what's going on YouTube. All right, donation readings are available. If you are interested in a burn and release, they are $20. All right, with a read is 25. All right, 30 to 45-minute read. If you are interested in a year of unlimited reads, it is 50 for 2 years, 65. All right, for one person. All right, Queen of Pentacles here. You getting ready to receive something. All right, Emperor and High Priestess is here. Somebody may be guided. Somebody may be guided to do something for you. All right, Nine of Pentacles is here. Yeah, you planted the seed. All right, you planted the seed with an Emperor. You planted a seed with an Emperor, or you planted a seed and this Emperor planted a seed, and both of you worked on each other. Is what I'm hearing. All right, under the moon. All right, so it's something that you don't see that's getting ready to be revealed. All right, or something that's getting revealed and somebody's walking away from something. All right, and coming towards you with some sort of offer. All right, you could be definitely over a situation. All All right, Ten of Pentacles, whatever this is happily ever after. It's like you're receiving some sort of phone call and it's going to balance something out. All right, and it's going to bring you great joy. All right, the Lovers is here in hermit mode. All right, let's see. A few more cards here. All right, Knight of Swords, something coming rushing in. All right, and again, somebody is, I don't know, somebody's going through some sort of anxiety about some information coming towards you. All right, let's see. Yeah, somebody's in anxiety because you're receiving some sort of wish fulfillment. Empress and the Sun. All right, so somebody is noticed. Somebody feel like they fucked up royally when it comes to you. All right, happily ever after. All right, 10 of Cups. Somebody definitely feel like they fucked up royally. All right, if anybody is interested in a year of unlimited reads, all right, $50 for a year of unlimited reads. If you are wanting 2 years, it's $65. Now, fuck that. If you want 2 years of unlimited reads, it's $65. All right, so 50 for a year and 65 for two. All right, first come, first serve. All right, the moon is here. All right, there's some sort of celebration coming in very, very quickly. All right, Ace of Wands. All right, which is going to allow you to be able to walk away from a situation. All right, it's something about giving to yourself and bringing you some sort of new beginning. All right, leading you in a direction. All right, a balanced direction. All right, so like I said, somebody is getting ready to give to you. All right, which is going to take you out of this stuck energy. This is a manifestation for you. All right, the World and Six of Pentacles, completions. There's so much coming towards you. All right, you got the Sun here again. All right, then you got the Two of Cups energy. Removing burdens as well. Again, things are turning in your favor, coming out of the worst possible situations. All right, and that is your read. All right, is anybody else interested on a read over here on YouTube? Is anybody else interested for a read? And donation reads are available as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and this live. I hope you have a wonderful one. Stay tuned for the next one.